Good evening and welcome inside the gym here at Johnstown High School. If you're a football fan, this is the best time of the year in central and western Pennsylvania. And you want to know why? Because high school football is finally back. Hello everyone and welcome. Sit back, enjoy yourself, because for the next hour, it's all high school football as our Six Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special is here. I'm Ryan Stanko. We have two locations where we will kick off our coverage here in Johnstown and inside the gym at Bellefonte High School. But before we get into our jam-packed show, which is just jam-packed with content, we have a very special introduction to make, the newest addition to our Six Sports team, Josh Kurlak. Josh comes to us via our sister station in Jefferson City, Missouri. Josh, it's a pleasure to have you here with me, and just tell us about your journey to finally get yourself here.
Yeah, I tell you, East Coast feels good. It's the first time I've ever been on the East Coast. As you mentioned, lived my last 3 years of my life in Missouri, working out there, and last week packed up and moved out to the East Coast, so here I am, can't wait to get started.
Now, you're a Midwest guy, so
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Midwest, maybe the sports teams you watched growing up.
Right, well, I am from Kansas City, so Chiefs, and I went to the University of Kansas, so a big Jayhawks fan as well, but it doesn't really come into play during football season. We only focus on basketball, but just also, little thing, the mountains, those are cool.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have those in the Midwest.
Yeah,
so something to look at, too.
So last one for you. You see all the people around us here, the atmosphere. I mean, what are your first impressions of this?
This is incredible. This is one of the reasons I wanted to be here. The passion for sports is great. We've got cheerleaders, so you know football is close, and can't wait to watch what the teams have to show as well.
Josh, it's a pleasure to bring you in here.
Thanks.
We're happy to have you on the team. We'll have more from Josh coming up. He and I will be anchoring our coverage from here inside Johnstown High, but that's not where it stops. We have Six Sports' Candace Martino posted up inside Bellefonte High. She joins us in just a bit. For now, how about we look back on what an incredible football season 2017 turned out to be. Now, we didn't have any local state champions, but that didn't mean there weren't a few instant classics. Over the next hour, we will look back on 4 thrillers from the 2017 season. 2 games which were featured on our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, and 2 more playoff thrillers, both from different conferences. As I mentioned, our Friday Night Rivals broadcast through Six Sports will again bring 10 live games for the upcoming season on MeTV. Let me tell you, just a jam-packed schedule. You see it right there on your screen. Week 1, Conemaugh Township and Winburn. From the Mountain League, Week 2, Bellefonte and Huntingdon. Week 3, State High plays host, or State High at Hollidaysburg, excuse me. Week 4, Berlin taking on Portage, a Westpac showdown. Week 5, Richland at Somerset from the LHAC. Week 6, Bishop McCourt at Greater Johnstown, the city game. In Week 7, it's Clearfield at Tyrone. Bishop Guilfoyle at Forest Hills in Week 8. Altoona at State High in Week 9. And then we finish with a doozy. Bishop Guilfoyle at Bishop McCourt in Week 10. Now that we've unveiled the FNR broadcast schedule for the year, let's bring in our third member of our Six Sports team. Candace Martino joins us now live from Bellefonte as we kick off coverage with the State College Little Lions. Candace?
Ryan, the State High Little Lions had quite an impressive season last year in 2017. They made a run all the way to the PIAA state quarterfinals where they fell to Pine Richland, a team out of the WPIAL. But don't let that one loss define how much success that they had last season. Head coach Matt Lintel enters his 5th year as skipper for the Little Lions. And in his time there, he created a Mid-Penn Commonwealth powerhouse program. Now, they went 10-3 last season, sending stud wideout Brandon Clark to Penn State this year. Ellis headlining a major returning class this fall. Now I'm joined by State High's head coach Matt Lintel. Coach, you have 6 returners on offense coming back, 7 on defense. How important is that to the success this year?
We're really excited about the experience that we have coming back. A lot of kids have been out there before, and that we can build on that. And a lot of the other kids that are backups that are now filling into those starting roles have been out on the field before. So we're extremely excited about this upcoming season.
And now to the players' standpoint, we're joined by, as I mentioned, Keaton Ellis, the Penn State commit. Keaton, a lot of Division I talent surrounds this program. You yourself, how special is this group of guys?
We're really special. We got a lot of talent and, a lot of weapons. So, we can feed off that. So teams can't focus on one person. So they got to cover us all. So I'm really excited for this season and ready to get going.
All right, and last question. This goes to you, Coach. You made it to the state quarterfinals last year. The goal is to get back there, if not further. How do you do that?
1 week at a time, just focusing on the things that we can control and trying to dominate those. And if we can stay 1 week and really keep that mindset of just trying to get 1% better every day and go out and do what we can and control that, then the outcome will take care of itself.
All right, Coach Keaton, thanks so much for joining us. We'll have plenty of more coming from Bellefonte, but for now, we'll send it back down to Ryan, who is live at Greater Johnstown High with more. Ryan, what do you got?
Candace, thank you. Back here in Johnstown, we bring in our first featured team. It is the host Trojans of Johnstown High. They entered 2018 fresh off another impressive season that saw them win a playoff game en route to an 8-4 finish. Head coach Tony Penna Jr. has the program right where it needs to be, but these Trojans will be tested this year. 23 talented seniors walked out the door for the final time this past June. And now the talk switches to whether it'll be rebuild or simply reload for the Trojans as they look to again be a force in the LHAC. And I'm joined live now by head coach Tony Penna Jr. and his quarterback sophomore Sammy Barber. Coach, first question goes to you. 23 seniors out the door, as I mentioned, but is it reload or is it rebuild?
You know, we're real happy with the guys that are back. I said, you know, with the success the program's had and the way the guys did it in front of them, I hope it's reload because they got to play against these guys every day, work out with them, you know, follow their legacy. So I hope that it's reload, you know, but we're going to come in. This league is not for the faint of heart. You're going to have a battle every week, and we have to be prepared week in, week out.
Coach Penna, the thing we got right here is Sammy Barber, okay? Now the bloodlines are there. His brother Austin Barber was your standout quarterback a season ago. Now you turn the reins over to his little brother. He's a sophomore, but he doesn't look like it. So Sammy, you're actually a junior. So Sammy is actually a junior, so you were a sophomore last year, excuse me. So you transition into junior year, you take the reins. Talk about kind of how you've stepped up into a leadership role being an upperclassman.
I watched my brother do it, so I took bits and pieces from him. And it made me a better person, made me a better leader, and they look up to me now.
Now what's the outlook for you guys this year? I mean, it's the innate position, the quarterback position. You're the leader of the team. So what's the outlook for this team? What can this team achieve?
They can achieve big things. D6 championship I'm looking forward to. We have the guys, we have the numbers, and we have a chemistry that can bring it all together with a great coaching staff.
Good luck this year, Sam.
Thank you.
Now, Coach, one more for you. The atmosphere at Trojan Stadium week in and week out, I mean, it's a special place to watch a football game. So expect similar atmospheres again once this year starts.
It's second to none. You know, we love our community and the support they give for us. These guys love coming out and playing in front of them. Sometimes you got to pinch yourselves when you walk out there. Like, it's that fantastic. You got these ladies behind us that are fantastic and the band rocking. It's the best seat in the house.
Coach, Sammy, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us. Good luck this year. Stay healthy, and all the best to you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to transition to another representative from the LHAC, the Bishop McCourt Crimson Crushers, who ran the ball all the way to a 10-3 season with 2 playoff wins in 2017. But they also saw 2 2,000-yard backs graduate, Anthony Walters and Carnell Andrews. How will McCourt pick up right where they left off this season? Well, head coach Brian Basile enters year 4 with the program, and he does welcome back his quarterback, Will Miller. Now, some of the younger Crushers will have to develop quickly if the power game doesn't miss a beat. But Bishop McCourt has the athletes to fill those voids. I'm lucky enough to be joined now by head coach Brian Basile. And coach, yeah, you lose a few pieces from last year, but talk about the outlook for this season.
Well, we're excited. You know, it's the best time of the year, football. So, you know, we're excited about our offense. Will Miller coming back from a sophomore quarterback, junior this year. Now we're able to give him a lot more of the offense, expand it, and now we have some new guys at skill positions.
Now, how about this kid right here? You got a special leader sitting next to me.
Oh, this is a great guy. Hunter's a great guy. He's been leading the team for a number of years, and offense, defense, special teams, you'll see him. He never leads the field.
Well, Hunter, that's a pretty good introduction for you, man. So talk about, you know, how you've kind of stepped into that leadership role and how this team just doesn't miss a beat in 2018.
We have a lot of young guys who are really stepping up into key roles, especially on the line and our running backs. Like you said, we did lose 2,000-yard rushers, but we have some kids who've really stepped up, and they've shown great promise this offseason.
What's kind of been the message that you've given to the younger kids? How does you guys come together as a unit?
The message this year is definitely to finish. The past 2 years, we've fallen just one game short, and the message we've been telling young guys is just finish everything you do. And if you're doing something, you got to do it 100%, and that's really the message we've been trying to tell them.
Now, Coach, one more for you before we send you on your way. I mean, that's just so much talent in that backfield last season. Talk about what's coming up behind them.
Well, we got some great skill positions where we were just talking about moving. Our guys can play multiple positions. They can play our A-back, our X. They can play tight end, fullback. So, we're looking with Grant, Wjac, and Vamos, and Bear, and Page, and Ethan Marcosi at fullback. I don't think we're going to miss a beat.
Safe to say the future's bright. Coach Hunter, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. It's great.
Have a great season. We'll have plenty more coming up from the LHAC later in the show. But for now, we'll head to break. You're watching the Six Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. To play us out, here are the Portage Mustang cheerleaders.
When we say Mustangs, you say nation. Mustangs, nation. Mustangs, nation. Join the sensation. We're Mustangs, nation. Mustangs, nation. You yell Mustangs, nation. Mustangs. Oh, change us. Let's go Trojans. Here we go. Change us. Let's go Trojans. Here we go. Change us. Let's go Trojans.
Looking live right there at the Greater Johnstown Cheer Squad. Our Six Sports High School Football Kickoff Special continues on. And welcome back inside Johnstown High. We're just getting going here. Plenty more to get to. I'm joined once again by the newest addition and a big acquisition it is to our Six Sports team, Josh Kurlak.
Yeah, thanks again for being here, and we'll see what we can get done here.
Now, obviously, you're new to the area, but the passion that you see from these teams, talk about it.
It's incredible. I mean, coming from, Missouri, saw a passion, but we never had an hour-long show with cheerleaders and coaches and everything. This is pretty cool, and everybody's been waiting all summer. Football is finally here, and it's time to stop talking and start playing a little bit.
Well, Josh, with no more delay, how about we get you familiar with a few more schools? We'll get a look at the Inter-County Conference. Let's start with the Bellwood Antis Blue Devils. Storied head coach John Hayes retired after a 2017 season that saw the Devils finish a perfect 9-0 in conference before falling in the first round of the playoffs. First-year head coach Nick Leverich welcomes back 8 starters.
Philosophy-wise, nothing is going to change. We're still going to be Bellwood football. We're going to still be fundamentally sound.
Southern Huntington went 8-3 in 2017. Ryan Garlock enters year 14 with the Rockets, who return 11 total starters.
We have a great tradition here, and football's big at Southern Huntington, and we like to try to keep that going.
Juniata Valley came on strong in 2017, finishing 8-4 and advancing to the district semis. Team speed will be a strength this year.
We were the team that wasn't hunted last year. I feel like we're the team that's being hunted this year, and we have to work up to that.
Northern Bedford made it all the way to states in 2017, winning 10 games. Gary Black doesn't see much changing for 2018.
If opportunity is going to be there for us to do this, we're not there to back down or whatever. We're there to put up a fight and learn and grow.
Claysburg Kimmel won a playoff game in 2017. Matthew Bilchak takes over after spending last year as offensive coordinator.
You just continue doing the things that successful programs do. You continue to do your workouts. You keep things as simple as possible for the kids.
Mount Union started 2017 red hot before losing their final 4 games. Consistency will be key in 2018.
Guys are more focused, we're more disciplined, and just things like that.
Head coach Winston Redman and the Everett Warriors will look to improve on a 2-8 finish a season ago.
We're still going to have some growing pains, but we're going to be a lot better than what we were last year.
West Branch finished just below 500 in 2017. Plenty of talent returns in 2018. Could this be the year?
We're returning a handful of lettermen that are from that class, so we're really going to lean heavily on those guys to carry us through.
Glendale will look to reverse a 3-7 2017 with a great senior class returning.
Work hard in the offseason, don't quit. You only get out what you put in.
Williamsburg won just 2 games in 2017. As Bob Hearn enters year 10, there is a wealth of returning experience.
Make running plays happen a little bit better and just keeping the morale up.
Tussey Mountain returns 8 total starters for Anthony Sotosante in year 1.
They really bought into what we're doing.
Mo Valley will look to reverse a 2-win finish in 2017.
I want to get Mo Valley football program back to where it needs to be and where it was.
Yeah, the ICC is pretty unpredictable. Everybody knows everybody. There's not many surprises in what you're going to get from team to team, so it should be fun to watch this season.
Absolutely. How about last year, for example? Take that Bellwood Annis example. They rolled through the conference en route to an unbeaten regular season, and this game right here was the game that got them off on the right foot. We flash you back over a year ago, game number 1 of our flashback games from 2017. They call it the Backyard Brawl, and in a rivalry game like this, you just throw the records out the window. Tyrone and Bellwood opened the season as they do every year, and 4 quarters just weren't enough. Eric Mulder put the Blue Devils up 7-0 at the half on a 1-yard touchdown run. Then Tyrone immediately answered on the opening drive of the second half on a 1-yard plunge from Zach Albright. This one would go to overtime, deadlocked at 7, queuing up the drama. Tyrone's drive would stall out, leading to an Ethan Vipon field goal, and that's when quarterback Sean Wolf would take the opening snap on offense for the Blue Devils 10 yards to the house for the walk-off touchdown, sealing the 13-10 win. Now that win put an end to Bellwood's 4-game losing streak in the Backyard Brawl, and with that, it's time to go to break. Plenty more coming up on the 6 Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. And when we return, we'll go back to Bellefonte, where Candace Martino will get a look at the Mountain League. And fittingly, here are the Red Raiders cheerleaders.
Raiders! Nation! We're Raiders! Nation! Raiders! Nation! Wjac Raiders! Nation! Raiders! R-A-N-G-E-R-S! Rangers! Rangers! We are the best! R-A-N-G-E-R-S! Rangers! Rangers! We are the best! R-A-N-G-E-R-S!
Welcome back. Our 6 Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special continues on, and that was a look at your LHAC Forest Hill Rangers cheerleaders getting down with it. I'm Candace Martino, live in Bellefonte, and what no better place to be on a Tuesday night than right here on WJAC as we transition into the Mountain League. Now we'll begin with the Bellefonte Red Raiders, who have already faced much adversity this preseason. They spent fall camp practicing off-site since their stadium remains under construction. But let's rewind to last season here. Bellefonte posted a 10-3 record, capturing their first district title since 1999. Now, they graduated more than half their starters and will return to senior leadership to pave the way, but only 6 starters come back, and it tends to be tricky here, but what will help is sticking to the status quo, and that's running the rock. Now I'm joined by head coach Shannon Manning. Coach, it's for a team that is very run-heavy. How do you have younger guys who are going to step in on the O-line here and to step in and step up for you?
Well, what happened last year was with playing the additional 3 weeks, it allowed a lot of kids that wouldn't normally get these type of reps to get reps. And we had brought a lot of 9th graders up, and they were able to play those extra 3 weeks. It really worked out for us from that perspective.
And now from a player's perspective, we have joining us defensive end Caleb Rocky. Caleb, you guys roughly gave up 25 points per game last year as a defense, which is a major key to winning those games. Now, how do you keep that margin down, if not the same this year?
We just need to keep working hard and focusing on the backer drills and everything that we've been going through recently in practice. And we need to get stronger up front and just keep working.
All right, now this question is going to be for Coach. You guys won the league last year and the district title. You want to get back to that, if not even further this year. How do you make that possible?
Well, health has a big play in it. We're not like State College where you have 74, 75. So health will have a huge impact on that, how we go forward and how our youth continues to mature. That will determine probably how this whole season works out.
All right, well, there you have it, your first live look at your Bellefonte Red Raiders, but we're not done yet. We're going to take an even deeper look into the Mountain League now, and here's a team that's going to be on the opposite side of the spectrum, one that struggled with consistency all season long.
The Tyrone Golden Eagles couldn't quite find their rhythm in 2017, but a few breakout games showed what this team is capable of.
You definitely do learn a lot about them.
especially if your team stays together. You know, your team starts getting divided, and you got your little groups that start forming whenever losses happen.
Age is but a number on the playing field, and Phillipsburg Osceola is no different. They'll have a handful of freshmen competing for starting spots.
They have an opportunity each week to get better and to go out and make themselves better.
Penns Valley was a team that showed more green last season and experienced a new offensive system, but that won't be the case this year.
As a whole, we have to modify what we do based on the players that we have available to us.
The Clearfield Bisons relied on the pro-style offense in the past, but this fall will not be any different. With the senior quarterback and seasoned backfield, a playoff berth is in sight.
We have a lot of good kids coming back, a lot of good experience, and hopefully we can build on that.
Don't let the lack of size in the trenches fool you for Bald Eagle. They enter the third year with Jesse Nagel returns 17 starters.
We're just older, you know. I mean, you have, juniors that are now seniors, sophomores going to be juniors.
A big off-season in the weight room for Huntington may be what they need to return to the district title.
When they were sophomores, were in the semifinals. Last year they were in the finals. And hopefully this year we get back to the finals and we can win.
The Central Dragons were a team that dominated in 2017. You can expect the same this fall.
We will have to work hard to try to approach where we were last year. It's going to be difficult, but we hopefully will be up for the task.
Unlike the other teams, Bishop Carroll enters the Mountain League for the first time this season.
There's definitely some excitement. I don't really know if it changes too much of how we go about things and how we prepare. Obviously these are going to be new teams. We're not too used to them. They're not used to us, but you're going to prepare the same way.
And now it's time to turn our heads to 2017 for our second look-back game of the night. And, of course, it includes two Mountain League teams that took this thing down to the wire.
This is one that was seen on Friday Night Rivals, and oh, was it a good one. The Huntington Bearcats put their perfect record to the test on the road at Central. Scarlet Dragons took a 7-3 lead with them in the locker room at half, but as expected, Huntington responded with the game's only tutty in the third quarter. Now the Bearcats held a 10-3 lead going into the last quarter of play, but Jared Smith danced away with this one to put the nail in the coffin for Central. They gave Huntington their first L of the season with a 14-10 win.
Now that would be Huntington's first and only conference loss. Now, well, that'll do it for the Mountain League, and we'll send it back down to Johnstown after the break to talk about the Westpac and Heritage Conference. Cheerleaders, take us to break.
Yell it out! Who's the best? W-A-H-S! Yell it out! Who's the best? W-A-H-S! Yell it out!
And welcome back into the Six Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. We're back inside Greater Johnstown, where we transition into the Westpac Conference now. And we start with the Winber Ramblers, who behind Matt Grohall enter year number 8 with him at the helm, have built up one of the best power ground games in the area. Last year, the Ramblers rode the single wing all the way to the district championship game, but this year will be a little different as they lose do-it-all-back Cody Szymanski. However, they do welcome back 11 total starters ready and waiting to pick back up right where they left off. I'm joined now by the Winber Ramblers. Coach Grohall, we'll start with you. What's the outlook for this season? It was such a power ground game, and you guys, really kind of wore teams down as games went on. How do you kind of fill the void in the backfield?
Well, like you mentioned, it's hard to replace those two guys we had last year, 200-pound tailbacks, and we're going to rely on a 140-pound tailback this year. But the mindset is the same. We do what we do, and we're going to run the ball off tackle, and hopefully teams, can't stop us like they did last year. We set the school record in rushing last year, and we hope to build off of that and just replace the young guys stepping in, doing a great job, and we got a lot of confidence in this guy, and hopefully he can be the next Cody Szymanski.
Well, those are definitely big shoes to fill, but how about we go ahead and talk to Mr. Layton, and how have you kind of handled your offseason? How have you got ready to get yourself your workload that you're going to have to be prepared for it?
I've definitely hit the weight room harder. I've done a lot of agility, a lot of off-season stuff, and I've just been working really hard to get back there.
Now, how about, kind of talk about the team? How about how's the team working? How are you guys kind of coming together? Because, you're a band of brothers, and that, there's a lot to replace, but you guys do have the talent coming back to replace those guys.
Yeah, we're working hard in the off season. We're working hard in the at practices, you know, just getting to it, getting focused every day, and coming ready to play.
Coach, talk about that week 1 matchup with Conemaugh Township. That's a rivalry game. That's a Westpac game. That's as good as it gets, and you have it at home.
It is at home, you know, and we talked about it, and we got a lot of young guys playing, and try not to put too much hype on it. You know, we're Friday night rivals, game of the week. It's senior night. I would expect 4,000 to 5,000 people there. It's going to be awesome, and hopefully we're ready for Conemaugh Township.
It certainly is one of the the best atmospheres in the conference. So good luck to you guys this year. All the best, health and everything. And, go out and go get them.
Thank you. Great. Appreciate
That'll
it.
do it for Winburn. Now we're going to stay in the Westpac. We're going to welcome in another powerhouse in the conference. Storied head coach Gary Gauss has patrolled the Mustangs sidelines for 28 years. He is fresh off a coaching milestone, eclipsing the 200-win plateau in 2017, a year that saw his team win 8 games. Those Mustangs, they welcome back 9 total starters, 6 on defense, which will be the staple of this team in 2018. The numbers are up, the outlook is very positive, and now I'm joined by storied head coach Gary Gauss. Coach, let's talk about the outlook for this season. How do you build off last year? How do you get ready for another go at it?
You know what? We had a great camp. We have 50-some kids out. Have a lot of our younger kids are stepping up on the offensive side, which is our offensive line. And, we lost the whole backfield, but Connor Price is back at the quarterback. Albert's sitting right beside me as our tight end. He's been with us for 4 years now. He'll anchor down the offense. And we have some new running backs. Cole Sawson's one of them, and Seth George, Blake Rabbits, just to mention a few, and Gabe Forrester working in the backfield. So, we're working on our offense right now. It's a little bit behind, but it is going to catch up. But our defense is pretty stout so far.
Well, let's talk to Albert now. And you're finally a senior. Coach speaks highly of you. You have a pretty good gauge for where your team's at this point in the season.
Oh, yeah. Every year we come back and we're always locked and loaded. A lot of people don't think we'll be very good this year. We lost a lot of seniors coming back. We just got to be locked and loaded, and we come with the ball really physical. We just got to fire off, and we'll be really good.
Now, there's a sense of, reputation with your guys' program, So, how much does that factor into, okay, maybe it's going to be a down year that other people think that, but the reputation that you guys have built within, you know what I mean? Did you kind of band together around that?
Oh, yeah, it's just tradition. If we're getting down on ourselves, you got to think that it's tradition. You have to be good. We don't want to be that team that just doesn't follow the tradition. We got to follow the standard that Portage wants.
Hey, Coach, one more for you. If you kind of look down the road, if your team's going to grow up and you guys are going to have success, what's the main key for you if you had to pick one?
We've got to catch up offensively right now. Once we get our offensive line going, I think we're going to be fine. Our quarterback is his 3rd year starting. He'll handle that. Once we get the line going, we're going to be all right.
Coach Albert, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this year to the Portage Mustangs. It's now time to unveil look-back game number 3, and this one was a thriller from the Westpac featuring these very Stangs. In a rematch of a regular season game that Portage won at Ferndale, the two met again in the District 6 quarterfinals of the playoffs at Portage. This one was tied at 6 in the second quarter. Hunter Kinsey tossed a 2-yard touchdown to Brennan Mitchell. 2-point try was good. The Jackets led 14-6. Portage would immediately answer with a 38-yard touchdown run from Zach Wiggins. 2-point try, no good. It was 14-12 at the half, and then defense took over. No one scored in the second half. The Mustangs had one last heave to end the game, but the ball would fall harmlessly to the turf, sealing the 14-12 win for Ferndale. Now, with the win, those Jackets, avenged the 42-15 regular season defeat. Now, let's get ourselves a closer look at the rest of the Westpac Conference. Berlin ran through the Westpac en route to a 9-0 finish, a trip to the Appalachian Bowl and District Championship game. Doug Paul returns a combined 7 starters in year 14.
We always set a goal, and the goal this year again is playing that D5 championship game at the end of the year.
Ryan Donaldson enters year 1 as head coach, but has spent some time within the program. The Myersdale Red Raiders returned 6 starters on each side from a team that finished 4-6 a year ago.
I think the skill set's there from everybody.
Sam Zambanini enters year 20 at Township, who had an uncharacteristic 2-8 finish in 2017. The Indians welcome back 8 starters on O to go with 9 on D, and the experience gained is key.
We have a lot of guys back that are playing the same positions that they did last year, so the learning curve comes a little faster too.
Black Lake Valley went 4-7 and 3-6 in the Westpac in 2017. The Vikings could take a big step forward in 2018.
These kids have really bought into that,
and I think the future is very, very bright for Black Lake football.
Ferndale is coming off a storybook season that saw them advance to the district semis. Sean Fafari takes over as head coach and returns 8 total starters.
This year we want to try to get a little bit more balanced offensively.
Don Fife returns 8 on O and 10 on D for a Shade Panthers team that went 4-7 and made it to the playoffs in 2017.
We're going to be very senior heavy, so we hope the experience pays off.
Conemaugh Valley went winless in 2017. Dan Markowitz takes over in 2018 after Tom Marshall stepped down after 21 years.
It starts with a culture change, so we're working that.
Wes Berkebile will look for improvement from his North Star Cougars, who won 4 games in 2017 and returned 7 starters, but will remain very young.
Because of the injuries and things like that, a lot of younger guys got a lot of good playing time, so they'll be seasoned coming into it this year.
From the Westpac to the Heritage Conference now. Remember, each year these 2 conference champs meet in the Appalachian Bowl. We begin with Ligonier Valley. The Rams went a perfect 9-0, won the Appalachian Bowl, and advanced to the PIAA state quarters. Roger Beadle returns 5 on O to go with 6 on D. United went 4-7 in 2017, advancing to the first round of the district playoffs. A big and powerful O-line will be the key for head coach Kevin Marabito, who returns 12 total starters. And Northern Cambria welcomes back 16 total starters from a 7-win team for second-year head coach Sam Schutte.
Very confident with the team, but again, very humble, and we're ready to get to work and expect a lot of tough games.
Time for another break. Don't you think about changing that dial, because you're watching the 6 Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. Check out the Bishop McCourt Crimson Crusher Cheer Squad. When we return, we'll rejoin Candace Martino in Belfont, for a look at 2 Blair County schools, Hollidaysburg and Altoona.
Now, welcome back to our 6 Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. And, of course, that was your Johnstown Trojans getting down with it. I'm Candace Martino, live in Belfont. And now it's time to turn our heads to our one and only independent team. And that is, of course, our Holidays Golden Tigers. Now, they clawed their way back into the PIAA. They clawed their way back to the PIAA quarters a season ago under head coach Homer Delatry, who now enters his 5th season with the program. Now, given that the Tigers are independent, comes a difficult schedule, but it's not one that is no different to the senior class, and they're not used to it. Now they bring back 5 returning starters on offense and 6 defensive players to pave the way. And we can't forget about quarterback Brady Walters, who had a solid season last year in 2018. So now this very well could be their year this year. Now I'm joined by Tigers head coach Homer Delatry. Coach, you have a lot of experience in the senior class. How easy is that for a coach going into this season?
Well, going into this schedule is very difficult. Number one, having the returning starters back is going to be beneficial, especially early in the year with our schedule being as difficult as it is, to have some experience and great leadership. They're doing a great job at this point, being leaders for the younger guys in the team and really just bringing the program along. We made great strides last year, making it to the state quarterfinals, and they want to pick up right where they left off last year.
And now to a player's standpoint, we're joined by Brady Walters. You guys are playing not only your first game on Friday night, but it's against Altoona, a team you haven't played between 10 and 11 years. As a player, walk me through that journey Friday putting on that jersey.
It's a bit. We haven't played them in several years, but it's a big tradition, a big rivalry for everyone that played before us years ago. And since the season ended last year, the whole team's been excited for this game. So now it's time to play Friday. So we're ready to go.
All right, you hear they're ready to go. Now this last question is for Coach. Coach, as I mentioned, you guys are playing Altoona, a team you haven't played in a while. How do you prepare for a team like that?
Well, they're a very well-coached football team. They have some great schemes that we're prepared for. Being Tuesday, we still have some work to do game planning-wise, but we look forward to it's a great event for high school football in Pennsylvania and in the area itself. It's not just Hollidaysburg, Altoona, but it's really good for Blair County and good to bring those kind of football traditions back.
All right, and now we already dabbled with what's coming up next. We'll stay in Blair County with one of our newest members to the Mid-Penn Commonwealth League, and that is, of course, Altoona. Now, the Altoona Mountain Lions are, although they're coming off of a down year at 2-8, don't let that throw you off for what lies ahead with this program. Head coach Nick Felis enters his third year with the team as they welcome back more than enough speed in a heavy senior class. Now, we're not done just yet. There's plenty of more to come. When we come back from the break, we'll send it down to Johnstown to talk about the LHAC. Don't go anywhere.
Keep it up, keep it up, keep that Ranger spirit up, say keep it up. Woo! Keep it up, keep that Ranger spirit up, say keep it up. Woo! Keep it up, keep that Ranger spirit up, say keep it up. Woo! VHS, go, Red Raiders! VHS, go, Red Raiders! VHS, go, Red Raiders! VHS, go, Red Raiders! VHS, go!
Welcome back to the Six Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. You're looking live at the Bellefonte Red Raiders Cheer Squad. Now, the next segment, it's a real treat. I've been looking forward to this one. We bring in two coaches, two LHAC foes, but they eat at the same table on holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving. I'm joined by the Forest Hills Rangers head coach Don Bailey, his quarterback Adam Cesari, his son Brandon Bailey, the head coach of Richland, and his quarterback Joe Hauser. So I'm going to have to begin with the coaches, and I'll start with you, Don. What is it like to, this rivalry every year, to go up against your son? Just talk about it.
Well, really, it's a double-edged sword. You know, you want your son to be successful, but you don't want him to beat us. You know, we hope he wins every other game, but don't want him to beat Forest Hills.
We'll talk about the outlook for Forest Hills, Coach. You got a pretty good player that's towering over me currently.
Well, Adam's certainly an outstanding trigger man in our offense and the linebacker on defense. We're very cautiously optimistic that we can have a successful season. We're looking forward to the schedule we have, and everyone in Laurel Highlands is a very worthy opponent, and it's a very difficult schedule.
Well, Coach, I'll talk to your quarterback now. Adam, you've been, kind of the front man for this program for so long. Talk about year 4, your final go-around before you head off to Wake Forest to play baseball, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. First of all, it's been a great 3 years under Coach Bailey and with the guys. My role has sort of changed a little bit from learning to becoming a big-time leader and sort of helping the guys who are still my age succeed this year, but yet again, the guys who are younger keep our tradition going.
Guys, good luck this year. We're going to swing it over here and talk to head coach Brandon Bailey. We'll start with you. You have a pretty good quarterback standing next to you as well. There's a lot of similarities between your two teams. Talk about, kind of what it's like going up against your dad each year.
Yeah, I mean, we play them week 3. We were talking earlier. We're focused on Bishop McCourt. That's who we have Friday night. We've been focused on them since last November, when our season ended. But yeah, it'll be exciting the week that we play Forest Hills. The schools, we're rivals. We're border schools. Obviously, I graduated from there, so it's exciting for me and my family.
Coach, how about internally? How about the Richland Rams? Because you guys had some tough losses in 2017, but a great crop of talent is returning. So, I mean, the conference is so competitive year in and year out, but there's cautious optimism, right?
Yeah, we're very optimistic. Our kids have worked really hard in the offseason. We have a lot of experience coming back from last season, and we're looking forward to getting out there on the field on Friday night.
Well, now I'll talk to your signal caller, Joe Hauser. And Joe, you're no slouch either. You've been around the block. Talk about, your transition to an upperclassman and going up against the likes of Adam Cesari, going up against the tough conference year in and year out. How have you kind of stepped into the role as a leader?
Well, I mean, Coach Bailey, he does a good job of coaching me and everything, and I just work hard every day. And players that need help, and like the running backs or like even the wide receivers or backup quarterback line, anything, I help them out as best as I can of what I can do and help them out.
And one more for you. I mean, you can look down the road at the matchup with these guys standing to my left. Talk about, how pumped you are just to get this season going. I mean, you don't want to overlook McCord, obviously. You don't want to look down the line. So talk about, how pumped you are to get the season going.
Well, last year didn't go as planned as we wanted it to, so I've been looking looking forward to this season since the last game of the season last year, coming out against our top rival, McCourt, and just coming out. Hopefully we get a win, do everything good, get a win.
Coach Brandon Bailey, his quarterback Joe Hauser, myself, quarterback Adam Cesario of the Forest Hills Rangers, and head coach Don Bailey of the Forest Rangers. Thank you guys so much for joining us. That was a treat. I enjoyed it as well. So now we talked about 2 teams from the conference. We had 2 in the opening block. Now we transition into the rest of the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference. Bishop Guilfoyle was the cream of the crop in the LHAC in 2017, but their historic win streak came to an end at 59 games. Believe it or not, head coach Justin Wheeler is excited for 2018 because it gives his returners a chance to show how they handle adversity.
This group is a group that really has gone after it. I think they want to leave their mark. They want to leave their legacy on the program in the area. So it's going to be exciting to see what they're capable of.
Westmont Hilltop rode the triple option all the way to a road playoff upset of Bellwood. And head coach Pat Barron returns 19 total starters this year.
Our guys certainly take pride in a long drive and a long march and frustrating the defense.
Chestnut Ridge is the newest addition to the LHAC after playing last year as an independent. Max Shoemaker's Lions welcome back 10 starters from a team that made it to the district championship in 2017.
I feel comfortable with our kids in terms of competing with some real quality programs like we see in the Laurel Highlands.
Somerset will look to improve on a 3-7 finish, and with 13 returning starters, the ceiling is high in 2018.
That continues to be a focus. We try to make sure to have guys that are flying around both offensively and defensively.
Jared Lewis enters year 8 with Cambria Heights. The Highlanders won 8 games in 2017 and return 11 total starters.
Our ability to get the ball to our athletes is going to determine what type of season we have and also limit big plays.
Bedford returns 8-0 and 6-D in 2018.
It's about as simple as that. I mean, just play Bison football and win games and compete.
Central Cambria alum Shane McGregor enters year 2 coaching his alma mater, and the Red Devils have a wealth of talent returning.
You got to embrace it, man. And football's a tough sport, but if you do and you push through and you do it as a team, some special things can happen.
And lastly, John Franco has won wherever he's coached. Now in year 2 at Penn Cambria, he likes how the Panthers have come along.
The big thing with us, we had to change the culture. And I know that's a common cliche, but it's the truth, and we had to do that. And we think we're well on the way.
And now it's time for our 4th and final unveiling of our 2017 look-back games, and it involves one team from the Laurel Highlands Athletic Conference. And it includes an LHAC school pulling an unlikely road playoff upset. The Westmont Hilltoppers stuck to the triple option system and got better each and every week, and come playoff time, they were ready for Bellwood Antis. The Blue Devils entered undefeated and had the home field advantage and were spotted a 2-touchdown cushion, but the 14-point deficit never phased Westy. They found themselves down a touchdown, seconds to go in the game. Camden Morse punched in his second score of the evening with 16.6 seconds to go, and instead of kicking the extra point, Pat Barron went for 2 and the win. Again, he called Morse's number, and Morse did not fail. The rest is history. Westy 29, Bellwood 28. Just living that atmosphere gives me the chills to see here on my neck stand up. We're going to head to our final timeout here on the 6 Sports 2018 High School Football Kickoff Special. And now you're getting a live look at, we'll go back into Districts 9 and 10 when we return from this break. Look at one of the amazing cheer squads that we have here joining us at the 6 Sports High School Football Kickoff. We've hit our 4th quarter, if you can believe it. Now, there was a bit of a shakeup within District 9 this year. The KSAC and the AML, they are no more. The 2 conferences merged into one with a small school and a large school division within District 9. We get a look into District 9 in 2018 as well as a school from District 10. Ridgeway Johnsonburg was the cream of the crop in 2017, winning 9 games and advancing to the PIAA quarters.
Even though we've lost 16 very talented seniors, we're excited about the younger group that's coming up through to fill those shoes.
Kerwinsville won 9 games also in 2017. Now the Golden Tide welcome back 8 starters.
Whoever lines up on the other side from us, I mean, we're going to play. And we're going to hit, and we're going to run the ball down the field.
Brookville won 9 times and advanced to the district semis in 2017, and a lot of that talent returns, including standout quarterback Jack Krug.
I feel pretty confident with the guys that we had that were backups or filling in last year to step up and take those places.
Punxsutawney won just 4 times in 2017, but 11 combined starters are back for 2018.
We're pretty experienced at the skill position, and we're looking for our offensive line and our defensive line to come together.
The Brockway Rovers returned 7 on O and 8 on D for first-year head coach Tom Weaver, who loves to pound the football.
Like I said, the players are top-notch players.
Elk CC won twice in 2017, but Tony Gerg is ecstatic to welcome 9 starters on each side of the football back.
It's the most motivated team I've had. It's probably one of the most hardest working teams I've had in the offseason.
The Flying Dutch of St. Mary's will look to turn around a winless 2017, and they have the mindset to get it done.
Unity of our group is the #1 focus for our year this year.
Cameron County won once in 2017, but 6 starters on each side of the ball returned to Emporium for first-year head coach Jody Bailey.
It's just trying to get that whole, we've got to be a team. We've got to come together as one, because that's about the only way we're going to be successful being a small school. That's just how it's got to be done.
Last but certainly not least, the DuBois Beavers, who play out of District 10 and enter fresh off a 3-7 finish in 2017. But Justin Marshall believes big things are to come for his Beavers in 2018.
We're pretty big this year. And again, as I said, pretty physical. Those two things kind of usually go together.
Well, man, that hour went fast. Josh, the newest member of our sports team, quick line about this amazing night that we had here.
I'm ready for these guys to go suit up, strap on the pads, and let's play some football.
Oh, I agree with that. Josh Kurlak, the newest member of our sports department, Candace Martino out in Bellefonte, and all of the folks involved with the show, thank you so much. We had a blast with it. Enjoy the high school football season.